Hi friends, and welcome back into the channel. Happy Friday Frolic Funday, my friends. Happy Friday. I hope you guys are having a wonderful day wherever you are in the world, whatever you're doing. I hope you're enjoying your day and getting ready for a wonderful, restful weekend. Also, my friends, happy Halloween! Happy Halloween 2025. My goodness, my friends. Happy Halloween. I have a fun, super fun, Halloweeny, kind of a Halloweeny. I think it's kind of a Halloweeny project for you guys today. And I think you guys are going to really enjoy these fun earrings I am going to make with you today. Before that, let's get to a bunch of housekeeping, shall we? My friends, I hope you will join me at 5 o'clock in just a few hours. 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, 8 Eastern, over on Whatnot for my live auction. There is a link right below in the description box, my friends. If you have not already joined up for Whatnot, that's my invitation link to you to join me over in live auction on Whatnot and enjoy $15 off your first order with me or your first several orders. You do not have to use that $15 in one sitting. So I hope to see you guys there. And are you guys ready for some more sparkle? Because tomorrow I hope to see you in live chat for my premiere of my November sparkle bag. Yay! I'm so excited. Another sparkle bag. November 1st, right out of the beginning of November, right out of the gate, my sparkle bag, November 1st. That is tomorrow, my friends, at 9 a.m. Pacific time. That is noon Eastern. And I hope to see you guys there and stop in, say hello, give me some feedback, chit chat, whatever the case. I would love to see you in live chat. So that is tomorrow. My Sparkle Bag launches for November. And friends, kits and beady mix goodness. Guys, how more appropriate for Halloween than these fun little beadable kits that I put together? These are in my store. I will link them in the box below. Guys, these are so cute. And you know what? You can also use these for stocking stuffers because we're getting ready to get into the holiday stuff, right? So guys, I've got 2 fun beadable pen kits and a fun beadable keychain. And they are Halloween themed, but you know, you can mix it up. This is so cute, guys. This one here is a really fun beadable keychain. And this is Treat or Ink. Treat or Ink. And look how cute is a cucumber, guys. These are little focals and some really fun sugar beads and lots of fun goodness. Now, each of these kits includes 2, enough to make 2. That, my friends. And then there's these 2 fun ones. So Trick or Ink, and then, of course, Whimsy Owl. These are so fun. This one comes with 2 really fun pens in 2 different colors here, and enough, again, beads to make both pens. This one has a Twizzler and an owl and a cute little pumpkin spice and everything. Nice, so cute, and a bunch of additional fun sparkly beads to make some fun beadable kits. They also each come with a gift bag, as you can see. How fun are these, you guys? And then this one, the Whimsy Owl, is so cute. This one is 2 of the purple pens, and the beads in this one are just too cute. So look how fun. Look how fun. We've got 2 owls and a bunch of really fun beads in that one. Just love that. And that's Whimsy Owl. So those are in my store, friends. And again, these make really great gifts for the upcoming holiday season, fun stocking stuffers. And friends, I wanted to just take a minute. I don't do this very often, and show you guys some of the beautiful stasher bags and bead mixes I have up in the store. I did send some emails out, I do believe, but if you are not in my newsletter list, you would not have received it. Just look at all this beautiful beady goodness. Like, most of it is fall themed. This is a beautiful stasher bag. It's called Sunkissed Radiance, and it's just a beautiful palette. There's tiger skin and some gorgeous bicones and column beads. There's some chain and just a bunch of beautiful beads in this one. Beautiful stasher bag. It's a lot of champagne tones in here. So beautiful. That is Sunkissed Radiance. And then this one, oh, stunning. This is Jade Glow, my friends. That has some 8mm Taiwan jade in it, a special bead strand that I made, and some champagne bicones. There's some chain and clasps in here. Just a beautiful, beautiful stasher bag. And then, friends, bunch of beautiful bead mixes. This is a fun, I think this is Witch's Brew. And just, there's a pyrite. It's just a bunch of really fun, colorful beads to work with. This one is just beautiful, honey and fire. This has some two-tone jade, a bunch of complementary gorgeous beads. There's some cut glass drooks in there. Beautiful, beautiful color palette in the honey and fire. Then there is, let me get some stuff out of the way. Then this one, my friends, Earthbound Radiance. Stunning, stunning. This is so beautiful. There's some unakite, some beautiful 18 karat gold leaf dangles in here, just a ton of beautiful glass beads and some beautiful crystals. And there might be probably some drooks in there, it looks like, as well. This is just an absolute packed stasher bag. This one is Champagne Forest. There's some check flowers, some beautiful pine cone charms. There's some tree agate gemstones, and just a bunch of complementary beautiful crystals and beads in that beautiful Champagne Forest. And this one, Desert Horizon, stunning. Again, with the cut glass flowers, beautiful drooks and crystals and glass beads. And this one has some Imperial Jasper. And I believe those are 8mm Imperial Jaspers. And they're just a stunning mixes of, it just, oh, it's so gorgeous. Just beautiful, beautiful beads. So I hope you guys will check those out in my store. Let's get to our project for Halloweeny. Friends, we are going to be doing some wire work today. So let me pull up the things we are going to be using, my friends. So if you have a mandrel or any round object will work. Does not matter. I'm using my silicone rolling pin. Okay, that's gonna make my shape, but you can use any round object that you have. A bead container, it just depends on what size you want to make. It's completely up to you. We're going to be using 2 gauges of wire. We're going to use, I have the Para-Wire in titanium. This has a copper core. This is the 18 gauge, so we'll stick with 18 gauge for our shape. And then we're going to be using some 24 gauge in silver for our wrapping. And the beads, my friends, we are going to use, these came from some of my earlier bags. This is September's Autumn's Embrace, and this was Merch's Earthy Elements. So these are the 4mm in tomato and 4mm in the khaki brown. Grab some 18 gauge wire here, and I am gonna cut off around a 10-inch piece. About a 10-inch piece. So I'm gonna get about a 10-inch piece off my spool here, and grab my nylon jaw, and we'll straighten that out. Work hard in that a little bit, and then we'll go ahead and cut that off. And the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to grab my mandrel or any object that you have. In my case, I'm going to use my little mini rolling pin here. And what I'm going to do first is I'm going to grab my flat nose pliers. I'm going to try to find somewhat of the center to the best of my ability, okay? And what we're going to do, guys, is I am going to bend this over as far as I can get it. About like that, okay? And I'm going to put my pliers in there and kind of continue that bend. Okay, and so now this is what I have. Let me zoom you in, friends. Okay, so now we have our wire over here, our tails, and then we have what is like a little U here. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my flat nose, flatten this in a bit, and go slow, but I just want that to be a little tighter. Okay, so now this is what I have. Okay? That's what that looks like. Now I am going to grab my object, whatever you have, and we're going to wrap this around this object. Okay, and we're just going to make sure that goes all the way around. We're just gonna get our shape in here, okay? And then we'll go ahead and release that from the object. And this is what we're left with. The next step, friends, is almost like magic. Here comes the magic, my friends. So here's what we'll do. We are going to take the inside wire. Do you notice how I have a wire on the inside and on the outside, right? I am going to grab my inside piece and I'm just going to pull it. I'm going to pull it over. So we're kind of pulling it apart a little bit here. Just like that. And voila, we have a moon. So cool, right, my friends? So this is the next step. We're going to do some trimming. So we're going to grab our wire cutters and our 6-step. Now you can use your round nose, but the reason I use my 6-step is because I want consistent loops. So the first thing I'm going to do is I am going to take that inner part of the moon, this piece of wire, and I am going to cut it just about a quarter to an eighth of an inch past the other wire, okay? And I'll cut it about right there. And now I'm going to take that and I'm gonna use my 2nd step on my bail and I'm going to go to the edge of my wire and I am now gonna turn in a loop. And I'm gonna turn that loop away from me. We'll get that other wire out of the way. And there we go. And I'll show you what we have. So what we want is when we're looking down, we cannot see our loop. We can't see through the loop, right? But if we turn it this way, we can see through the loop, okay? So that's what we have, okay? So now what I'm gonna do is I am going to kind of grab this wire and put it through the loop, okay? Just like that. And then we'll push it back a little bit. Okay, and now we're going to do the same thing we just did. We're going to turn in a loop. We're going to make sure we turn it this way. Okay, so same thing. I'm going to trim my wire a little here. About there, about a quarter inch or so. Okay, and then I'm going to grab that same step on my one-step looper, on my bail making on mine. And we're going to go right to the edge of that wire. We're going to turn our earring this way now. Okay. And then we are going to turn a loop in. And till it touches the inside, just like that. And now this is what you have. Okay. Very, very cool, right guys? It's almost like magic. Now if we need to adjust here, we can. So I'll go in here with my flat nose. And if I need to straighten that out a little bit. Okay, so that's what we have. Let me straighten that out a little better. And of course, you know, we're gonna do this ×2, right? And if you wanna make your earrings at the same time, you can certainly do that so they'll, you know, be the same size. Okay, so all we now need to do when we're done is make our ear wires. We'll get to that at the end. So now what I'm gonna do, my friends, is I am going to grab my 24 gauge wire and I am going to anchor it. So I'm going to be wrapping only on the outside of my half moon here. So what I'm going to do is put this 24 gauge through, leave myself a little bit of a tail, and then turn it this way. And then I'm going to wrap that around there 3 times to get that anchored. So there's 1. And 2, and 3. And let my wire come back up. Now I cut about 16 inches of my 24 gauge, and I'm just gonna go ahead and pinch these together so my wraps are nice and tight. And I'll pull either side here, grab my pliers, make sure those wraps are nice and tight. And I'm gonna get them pushed together here. Okay, and we'll hold that in place with that tail. And now, friends, we're gonna go ahead and grab our beads and start stringing on. So let me get my beads out here. And we will start with one of the tomato. Let that down my wire. And I am going to kind of hold that bead a little bit on the top of the wire there. And then I'm gonna wrap it twice. So there's 1 and 2. And now I'm going to feed on my next bead. Let that come on down. And I'm gonna come around my wire with my wire twice. So there's 1 and 2. Okay. You see, this is taking shape. I am now going to keep doing this, guys, all the way down. I'm gonna go and put a bead on, wrap it twice, put a bead on, wrap it twice, all the way down the outside of my little moon here. So there's once and twice. And pull that back up. Keep squeezing my little wraps together there. And do it again. I'm gonna keep doing the same exact pattern, the full length of my moon till I get to the end. And then we will make some ear wires. My friends, this is where I'm at, right? So as I'm going down the outer portion of my moon here and wrapping, I'm making sure that I'm basically holding my frame, right? So it's the same thing we started at the beginning. I'm just continuing the whole time. So I fed a bead on, and then I'm gonna come up with the wire, and I'm going to wrap it twice. So that was once and now twice. And it's gonna get just a little fidgety here at the end, as you can see. My wire's, wanting to kink up, but we'll get it. I think I just have another bead or 2. So there's my 2 wraps, and then I just went ahead and tightened that wrap in there, right? And just keep doing that this whole time. And so I think I'm gonna trim a little bit of this wire away. And looks like I probably have possibly just 1 bead left here, guys. Maybe 1 or 2, let's see. Okay, maybe 1 more after this. So I'm gonna come up and pull that and kind of hold that bead down and wrap that tight, and a second wrap here. And push that tight, and see if I can get 1 more bead in here. I will. Why not? And what's fun too, guys, you can make these any size, right? There's no rules. So there's the last bead, and now I'm just gonna go ahead and wrap that last bead around, or wrap that wire around. So I'm gonna hold that bead. I'm gonna come around here, and a second time. I might do a 3rd wrap here at the end, just like I did at the beginning. Just make sure everything is gonna stay nice and tight there. And if your, little shape, starts to wanna come, done throughout your wrapping, it's 18 gauge, right? So you can kind of, play with it a little. You can play with it a little bit. You don't want to play with it too much, but, you can always move things around. So there I am at the end. I'm going to trim that off and literally tuck that in. And we'll grab our bail making, make a pair of easy ear wires. And get that tucked in a little better there. Alrighty, my friends. So this is what I have. That's what they look like. So fun. So now I have some 22 gauge wire, friends. Oh my gosh, these are so adorable. I love this. We're gonna make sure we flush cut both sides here. And about maybe a 1.5, 2-inch piece, just depends on how big or how long you want your ear wires, rather. So let's get those flush. And I'm just gonna grab my bail making. I'm gonna go to that first step and I'm going to turn in a loop. And there we go. And now I'm going to go to the largest step of my bail, put those right in there like this. My loops are facing away from me there, and I'm just gonna pull these up and around. And just like that. And there we go. We will kick up the backs here with our chain nose. And we'll grab our file. Make sure those are filed well. We don't have any pokies going in our ears. So 3 gauges of wire, friends. 3 gauges of wire. I'll put that in notes in the description box. I used 18 gauge for my frame, 24 gauge to wrap, and 22 for my ear wires here. And there we go. And we can just pop these open. And let me grab those pliers back. And put our loops right on there. And close that up. Same thing here. I hope you guys enjoyed today's Friday Frolic Funday. Fun pair of Halloweeny earrings. I hope to see you guys over in Whatnot Live Auction in a few hours. And of course, tomorrow at 9 a.m. Pacific Standard Time for my Sparkle Bag launch. November 1st, tomorrow, November 1st, Saturday. Until then, friends, be blessed.